welcome back. So today I wanted to give you guys a little update on how I have been bullet journaling. I've made a couple videos over the last year showing you guys how I do it, how I've made little tweaks over time, and I've continued to make little changes, which is the beauty of bullet journaling, is that you can change it however you want, whenever you want, as your life changes. It's amazing. If you are new to bullet journaling and you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, I will leave links below to the first two videos that I made. I go into a lot more detail about how I set it up, my purpose in it, why I love it, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but I don't want to make this too long because there's already two videos talking about it. But what I love so much about my journal is that it really cements in my mind and my heart the things that I'm learning, the things that God is showing me. It just kind of keeps track in a simple way of what's going on in our life. And so often, I would say every few months, I'll go back in my journal and kind of see what we've been doing, what is serving us in our life and what isn't, maybe what's draining us. You can kind of start to see a pattern over time. I think one big thing for me is I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to sermons online. I take notes during church. If I'm reading a book, I'll take notes on all the parts I've highlighted. I write down all the highlighted parts in my bullet journal. And if you don't write those things down, I mean, sometimes something will stick with you and you'll make a change. But often we're just so inundated with so much information that it just kind of goes in through one ear and out the other, and it never really takes hold in our life. And when you take the time to write it down and you have it in one place that you can continually go back to, I feel like it just really has a chance to make a difference in your life, which is exactly what it has done over the last year. And there have been times where I've been so discouraged about something and I'm like, I think I read a quote, or I think I read something that helped me before, because we cycle through the same problems a lot in life. And I'll go back and I'll read something that I had written down, and it's like the first time I've heard it. I mean, it's so cool. So cool. I love it. So clearly a year later, I'm still really excited about the whole concept of bullet journaling. I think that anybody could benefit from this, whether you're a journaler or not. Just make it work for you and how your brain works. And I am sure there are millions of different videos here on YouTube. Everyone has their own way of doing it, so you can find something that works for you. So the major change I wanted to share with you guys is that I'm no longer separating out my tasks or my list by the day. Instead, I'm doing it by the week. So how it used to look was I would have the day and then the tasks for the day, and then I would also write out these are the moments, which I just shortened to TATM. And that section is just for me to write down little moments in the day that stood out to me, good and bad, challenging, or if there's a quote or a tip I learned that day, I write it down. And it's sometimes sentences, like complete thoughts, and sometimes it's just a quick couple words just to kind of get it down, and I know what I'm talking about if I look back. So it just kind of depends on the time I have that day, at the time it was for each day. I have changed that to the week. And the reason I did that was it can be a little overwhelming to have a lot of to-dos, a lot of things that you're trying to tackle in a day. And I didn't like the way that felt. So I wanted to simplify that even more. And instead, what I'm doing now is I just write out the full week. So this week I'm showing you is September 5th through the 11th. And then I write out just my goals for the week. And what I will do is each day I'll go to the list and I'll pick 1 to 2, maybe 3 things tops to try and get done that day. And that's it. And then I leave the rest for the next day and I'll go through. Because also, for me, my to-dos, what I feel like doing is really kind of based on what I'm in the mood for that day. I mean, there are some days where I am just not in the mood to call the doctor, the dentist, the dermatologist, make appointments. Like, I don't feel like being on the phone. And so I just have it down for the week. I know it needs to get done that week. and I'll get to it on a day where I'm in the mood for it, if that makes sense. It just works for me. So I have my list for the week, and if I don't get everything done, I just draw an arrow and I move it to the following week. If week after week after week I'm not accomplishing that task, it must not be that important, and I completely remove it from my bullet journal and from my mind, and I move on. And then instead of doing these are the moments for the day, I'm just writing down a whole page of these are the moments, or TATMs, for the week. I'll either do a little bullet point if it's just a overall thing that happened during the week. If it's specific to a date, I'll write the date and then what happened that day. If it's something I heard on a podcast or I read in a book, which normally I do book quotes separately, but if it's something I just really want to remember, I'll write a little star and then write the quote or whatever it is I want to remember. And that's kind of how I've changed it. It's kind of simple for me, but it works. And I still keep all of my church notes in here. I still, if I'm reading a book, I will wait till I finish the book. I'll take a fresh page, write the title of the book, and then just take my time. Sometimes it takes a couple days, but I'll go through the book and write down everything I highlighted in the book. And that has been really helpful because I go back to notes from books I've read so often. Like this is from the book Hands-Free Life. And I mean, this is pages of notes. And there are times I'm like, what did she say again? And I'll go back and read it, and I don't have to fish for the book. I don't have to look it up on my Kindle. It's just all right here. And I've mentioned this in previous bullet journal videos before, but I always index everything in the front. So when I write down books I want to read, I write books I want to read and the pages it's on. I also keep a list of all the books I've read. So that's 2016 books read is on page 197. My New Year's 2016 focus, which is kind of my focus for the year, I wrote that down in here, what pages it's on, so I can always find it easily. And then like the book, Loving Our Kids on Purpose notes, and then the pages where I can go back and read the notes from that book. Like I've said again and again, the bullet journal practice has been life-changing for me. I am so thankful I'm doing it. I wish I had done this a lot earlier in life instead of, I kept journals, but they were like really dramatic, just writing out all these emotions, which is fine, kind of embarrassing if my kids ever read it one day. I feel like this is just, like, I think about that, my kids having this one day and going back and seeing like what our life was like, what I was spending my time doing, the things that God was showing me, and us as a family. Just, it's all in here. And I have been doing this for a year, and I've only gotten this far into the bullet journal. I still have all this to go, so I have a feeling I'll have a year and a half to 2 years in one bullet journal. It's amazing. I'm going to cut myself off here because I get really excited about this, and I think I'm starting to just repeat information that I had put in my other videos. So go watch that if you can't get enough of this and you want to hear more about my obsession. And if you guys bullet journal or do something similar, I love watching these videos. I love learning how other people do this. I follow people on Instagram, and I am not necessarily an artsy person. There are some people who really do this up, like they make it look really fancy and artsy, and it's beautiful. That's just not me. I'm not good at that stuff, but I just love seeing and hearing how other people do it. So if this is something you do, give me some of your favorite ways to do this, how it's worked for you, what you love about it, maybe what didn't work for you. Leave that all in the comments below. If you guys liked this video and it was helpful for you, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, maybe share it with your friends, and subscribe if you're not. I hope you guys are having a really great day. Thank you guys so much for coming over and watching and hanging out with me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. So today I'm going to share with you my latest Vitacost order. Vitacost, if you're new to these videos, is where I like to shop online for all of our healthier products. So you'll see all of our healthy stuff.